Welcome to AI Pulse for the 11th of April 2026. A briefing for business leaders and their advisors. First up, the Terafab era and SpaceX's infrastructure endgame. We're witnessing a profound shift in the battle for AI dominance, one that is literally moving off-planet. Michael Spencer reports that the limitations of terrestrial power grids and the immense cooling demands of next-generation data centers are pushing compute infrastructure into orbit. Imagine Terafabs, orbital compute facilities designed to power the most advanced autonomous agents, bypassing the physical constraints and energy demands of Earth-bound operations. This isn't science fiction anymore. It's a strategic play for the ultimate infrastructure layer of intelligence. For business leaders, this opens up new frontiers for data resilience, processing power, and potentially, entirely new business models that leverage space-based capabilities. However, it also raises critical questions about access and control, particularly if this foundational compute layer becomes highly concentrated. The implications for competitive advantage, data sovereignty, and the global power balance are immense, demanding immediate strategic consideration. So, a couple of questions to consider today. Is your data infrastructure strategy still limited to the cloud on the ground, or are you actively investigating the resilience and potential of space-based compute? And, if this infrastructure layer of intelligence indeed becomes a monopoly, what is your strategy for maintaining bargaining power with the providers who own and operate these orbital terafabs? Second, the rise of vibe working and your autonomous co-workers. 2026 marks a pivotal year where AI truly transitions from being a mere tool to becoming a proactive, integral member of the team. We've officially entered the era of vibe working, a paradigm shift where autonomous agents no longer passively await prompts. Instead, they proactively synthesize your personal knowledge, anticipate needs, and manage project flows, often while you're focused on other tasks or even while you sleep. These agents learn your preferences, understand project contexts, and contribute meaningfully to the daily operational rhythm of your business. This means a fundamental re-evaluation of how teams collaborate, how work is delegated, and even the very definition of a colleague. The efficiency gains are undeniable, but so are the challenges in integrating these proactive entities into your existing human-centric workflows and corporate culture. Here are a couple of questions to consider. Are you still treating AI as just a tool for your employees to use, or have you begun to treat it as a genuine colleague, with its own dedicated memory, project ownership, and agency within your organization? And, critically, how do you redefine and maintain your corporate culture when a significant, and increasingly proactive, portion of your daily collaborative vibe now emanates from autonomous software agents? Third, the Sell America trade and the shift in geopolitical currency. The global financial landscape is undergoing a significant recalibration, driven by the escalating demands of AI-driven disruption. The Japan Times highlights a massive investor pivot toward Asian tech enablers and the stability of precious metals. This trend suggests a growing lack of confidence in traditional Western currencies, particularly the US dollar, as a primary store of value in an increasingly volatile global economy. A weaker US dollar is no longer just an economic indicator. It's becoming a clear signal of Asia's growing outperformance and strategic importance in the critical AI hardware supply chain. For business leaders managing treasury and capital expenditure, this isn't just a nuance. It's a fundamental shift that demands a reassessment of portfolio allocation and hedging strategies. The center of gravity for critical AI infrastructure and innovation is visibly shifting, and capital is following suit. So, two important questions for your consideration. Is your treasury still over-indexed on USD stability, or are you actively reallocating toward the AI enabler markets of the East to hedge against potential Western financial volatility and leverage new growth? And, how does your capital expenditure strategy need to change if the cost of mission-critical AI hardware and components becomes increasingly decoupled from the traditional stability of the US dollar? Fourth, the AI Slack overhaul and the rebirth of collaboration. Salesforce has officially ushered in a new era for collaboration platforms, transforming them from mere chat tools into sophisticated agentic engines. This week's massive update to their communication stack, particularly Slack, demonstrates that work is no longer solely happening between humans in a chat box. Instead, it is now being actively orchestrated by autonomous agents operating directly within the communication platform itself. These agents can initiate tasks, summarize discussions, schedule meetings, and even draft responses, fundamentally altering the flow of information and decision-making within teams. This evolution demands a complete rethinking of how your organization communicates, collaborates, and executes work. The lines between communication and action are blurring, creating both unprecedented efficiencies and new challenges in oversight and accountability. So, 2 questions for you to ponder. Is your communication stack still primarily just a place to talk, or has it truly evolved into an autonomous execution engine that actively drives and completes work for your teams? And, if your communication tool begins making autonomous decisions and taking actions for your team, what robust mechanisms do you have in place to audit the logic of the chat for accountability, transparency, and compliance? Finally, DeepFleet, AI and the arrival of physical robotics at scale. As reported by Deloitte Insights, AI has officially transcended the digital realm and gone physical in a profound way. This isn't just about isolated robots, it's about integrated, intelligent fleets. With Amazon deploying its millionth robot across its vast logistics network and BMW factories utilizing DeepFleet, AI for entirely autonomous production routes, intelligence is no longer confined to your screen. It is now physically moving your inventory, optimizing supply chains, and building your products with unprecedented precision and efficiency. This represents a monumental shift for manufacturing, logistics, and any business with a physical footprint. The integration of advanced AI with robotics at this scale promises transformative gains in productivity and operational resilience, but also presents significant challenges in workforce management, safety protocols, and the cultural integration of human and machine. Here are 2 critical questions to consider. Are you still primarily thinking of AI as a white-collar productivity play, or are you actively preparing your physical operations for a future where they are entirely autonomous, driven by intelligent robotic fleets? And, as AI takes over an increasing amount of physical movement and labor in your business, what is your comprehensive strategy for managing the inevitable, human-robot, cultural and operational shock within your operations and workforce? To summarize, the 5 things to know today are: first, the infrastructure of AI is moving to orbital, Terafabs. Second, vibe working is turning AI into a proactive colleague. Third, the global financial center of gravity is shifting toward Asian AI enablers. Fourth, collaboration tools are becoming autonomous execution engines. And finally, DeepFleet, AI is bringing autonomous intelligence to the physical factory floor. That's it for today. AI Pulse is a briefing for business leaders and their advisors published Tuesdays and Fridays each week. If you like what you hear, share it and subscribe to the channel for updates.